You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Podcast Network. Find all of our shows at wearelibertarians.com. You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Welcome to the Ball Soccer Liberty Podcast on the We Are Libertarians Network. I'm your host, Jeremiah Morrill, and as always, I'm joined by our co-host, Dakota Davis.
Hey, how's it going, Jeremiah?
Not much going on in my life.
You had a pretty
mundane.
Pretty boring weekend.
Pretty mundane. So our show is about our lives in rural Indiana. I guess we're going to talk about that a little bit today. It's a show about folks who are involved in politics. We promise that our episodes are going to be fun and an easy listen. We interview people who are influencers, elected officials, political experts, and folks we just find interesting. Today is going to be a little bit of life talk and some political stuff, too. On the show, you got me, Jeremiah Morrill, your co-host for all 68 episodes so far, Dakota Davis.
Yep.
Same thing with you, I guess,
here again. Yep.
On my left, we have we got to do some shuffling here. Danny, you got to turn around the corner. We got to get Chase on the screen here.
Try to get him Indian style.
I wanted him. No. Get tighter.
Native American style right there.
Tighten it up. We got Danny Morrill here, co-host, my baby brother and best man from the events over the weekend.
That's right.
Heyo.
You can see Chase's knee in the shot.
We've got
which one? This one?
Chase Payton.
That's a nice knee.
That's a good knee.
He's here on the
guys.
sports desk.
Hey, Jared, why were you limping when
is-
you walked in today?
Go-karting injury.
Which is BS.
Okay.
I called the sports desk a long time ago.
You can share it, dude.
I don't want to share it.
Hey, you want soccer?
No, because I'm American.
You can take basketball.
I'll take basketball.
So you got Danny and Chase over on the left side. Danny's in his Indiana drinking team shirt or something. I don't know what it is. And
The bicentennial.
Chase is once again is a front runner with every team he ever wears. He's got his Notre Dame Fighting Irish shirt on.
You going to see Garth
Represent? No.
And on the other side of the room, it's the obviously there's something wrong with you. Down to under 250 pounds now. It's Kade Koger, the fake farmer.
How
we
doing?
I heard that you literally puked because you're bulimic after Jeremiah's wedding.
No.
I read it on the internet.
Didn't happen.
It has to be true. There's rumors going around on Facebook.
Yeah.
And one rumor is that you're bulimic, and the other rumor is that your farm stand sucks.
Are we going to get into this immediately?
Immediately.
That was a fun one.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
I read on the internet that you guys are selling bad sweet corn over there, and even the wildlife won't even eat your green beans.
Yeah, that's
Answer for these charges.
too bad.
Those animals are
I'm going to say it
stupid.
probably just didn't even happen. So,
Fake news.
yeah, fake news.
Fake news and fake food.
And
Look at his face.
Fake
He's so
farming, fake
satisfied with that.
I wish we could watch his face, but he's not on camera because he's being.
I was telling all you guys. It's good.
There was some news from Dakota. You tried to support the beef enterprise over there at L&K, and you had a
That's right.
discrepancy.
Mm-hmm. On the 4th of July, I sent a message to Kade Koger and said, "Is the stand going to be open all day?" And he said, "Yes." Well,
As far as I knew, it was supposed to be.
I went up there around 4:45 to 5 o'clock, and it was shut down for the night.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Very
I
sad.
only had $6 cash on me, so I could get a tomato and some squash.
You bailed out Bob the tomato
So,
and Larry the
a
cucumber.
lot of times, sometimes we even have people that'll leave like IOU paper notes.
There
And
was one out there. Yeah.
They'll take what they want and then they'll come back the next day and pay, and that's totally fine too.
My mom said that you're a Koger, so it's all good.
Yeah, it'd be all right.
Fair enough.
We're pretty lenient on that honor system.
Family nepotism going on here.
Yeah.
Yep, there was a truck that was at the barn next door, and the barn door was open. So I was like, I'm gonna go over there and say, "Listen, do you know who I am? I'm from the Boss Hog of Liberty. I deserve beef. I'm entitled to it.
So did you not get any?
I didn't get any beef. I got to go out there.
Yeah.
You normally get all the meat.
We'll get you set up.
So, Dakota, I'm starting to get toasty in here.
Yeah, I know the fans turned off.
It's
I forgot about that.
There's 5 of us in a little studio.
Want me to get
Yesterday it was actually kind of
Oh.
cool. And, take the headphones
Chase
off,
is
Chase.
trying to get up to help
Wow.
something.
He's got a leash.
This was more of a segue
Pull
than
it
a
twice.
request.
Pull it
Chase.
twice.
So we're in
There
this
we go.
tiny studio with 5 dudes.
Yep.
And I guess we're
If
we're
only we
looking-
had a bigger studio.
We're looking like September 1st, maybe
Yep. September 1st.
for somewhere else.
Yep. Chase, that was your cue
Ooh.
to
My
hammer
birthday
out some
is
breaking
September
news.
2nd.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Mine's November 2nd.
Ooh.
Mine's July 9th. I'm 35 now.
Your month is over.
Yeah.
We've had it. We've had enough.
I'm gonna be honest. My life is probably over now.
Ooh.
We'll see.
He's already going there. He's
It's
like,
already gone.
It's like 4 days after the wedding, and he's already saying
That
his
didn't
life
take
is
very
over.
long, did it?
Yeah, no. Doesn't take long to crush a man's soul.
No comment.
It's okay.
No
Some of us are in
Dead
this with you.
silence.
I was there once.
You got out though.
Is she pregnant yet?
I don't know. We don't have paperwork back yet. I don't know.
Okay.
We're not in the peeing on a stick
Don't have
game,
the
so I don't know.
paperwork yet.
I don't know.
As far as you know,
yeah.
could be a surprise. Happy
be.
honeymoon.
Oh, we got the unlimited drink package. I think that would ruin that. So Dakota, what we're going to move into the studio. So
That's right.
That's done by the Patreon deal.
That's
Boss
right.
Hog of Liberty on Patreon.
We're moving into a studio, but we still need some more money to be able to support that studio so that Jeremiah and Chase and Danny and Kade, all of us don't go broke trying to keep that open. It's patreon.com/bosshogliberty. If you subscribe at any level now, then you get a bonus episode every week, which is called Tinfoil Time with my wife, Audrey, and myself. And we talk about conspiracies on there.
10 episodes in, and I'm not yet been invited on our own
Nope.
backup show.
Nope.
Weird. It's almost on purpose.
It is on purpose.
I mean,
Could you
just
imagine
like
having this man in your house twice a week?
Okay. I shared a bedroom with that man from the age of birth to roughly 21.
Ooh, 21.
When'd you move out?
Let's see, 2007.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, 21. I knew the date pretty well. Bunk beds for a while.
Bunk beds.
Nice.
I had to talk with Sarah on some of the things that goes on.
We're not going to tell any stories about Danny.
That was pretty good.
Other than at one point there were rodents living under his bed, and you could hear them moving around at night. And if you tried to disrupt them, Danny would get upset because
I was
they were his
farming.
friends.
You were farming the rodents?
Yeah,
What kind of rodents we talking about?
mice, gerbils, hamsters. Don't ask about the hamster.
All three?
Danny trying to be Richard Gere over there. Kids, earmuffs, and everybody that's born before, after 1990 has no idea what the hell that was about.
I know what that's about. I get the reference.
The Googling. So H.H. Holmes. Who's H.H. Holmes?
H.H. Holmes, that was our topic for this week's Tinfoil Time. America's very first serial killer. Audrey and I have loved that topic for a really long time.
No relation to Sherlock Holmes.
No relation. No, it was an alias, actually.
Oh.
So not even his real name.
He's the original Triple H.
Yeah, but how that ties in with conspiracy theories is, I guess there was there was a new documentary that came out with his great-great-grandson, and they did a lot of talking and trying to prove that he was actually Jack the Ripper. So that was really interesting. So if you hop on over there at any level, starting at 17 cents a day, then you can get access to that.
At any level, meaning at least $5 a month. Is that the
Yep.
is that the catch?
That is the catch. Any level, starting at 17 cents a day.
All right. So you can't just subscribe for a penny a month. It's
Nope.
the first level that you allow people to subscribe at is $5 a month
That is correct.
or more.
Yeah.
I
All right.
wish you would play Sarah McLachlan while you talked about it.
We need Danny up on the mic more.
Yeah,
I'll just scoot up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Come
Try
on,
that.
Danny. How many times have you been on this show?
Not enough.
You're a co-host now, man.
I'm turning down his clipping because Danny doesn't sit up on it low enough, and he just goes quiet.
Pull yourself together, man.
It's hard.
I got it fixed. So
Hey, Jer, is my muffler working?
not well enough.
No.
No, it sounds
Oh,
terrible, Chase.
darn it.
Chase is off camera in the fifth seat. Maybe in the new studio we'll be able to put the camera more than 3 feet away from us and show everybody.
It can
Maybe.
be scooted back. You scoot it back.
No, it's
Yeah, it's okay. I'll knock it over. I've done that before.
we've got the video. Yeah.
We keep it forward so that now people can leave and enter as they will.
Oh.
Literally, everyone who was watching saw my underwear.
Chase, the first 7 or 8 times we hung out, I saw your underwear every time.
I like
without
how
fail.
that episode was my favorite because whenever he picked the camera
He
up,
looked right into it.
it was facing him. Yep, that was hilarious.
Oh man! So I guess we probably ought to get into the events of the weekend a little bit. It was like I told Sarah last night. It's like we held 4 pool parties in 5 days at my house, plus a wedding, plus my birthday party, plus a rehearsal dinner. It was whirlwind, man.
Yep,
And a family
that
reunion.
sounds horrible.
Threw a family reunion in there too.
That's nice. What did you do? What did you do this weekend?
I put this piece of steel on my left hand.
Is it tungsten?
It is tungsten with carbon fiber. Please don't lose this. I entrusted you with it once on Saturday,
Yeah.
and 10 minutes later, you're like, "Where the hell did that go?"
It's because the photographer needed to take pictures. Wasn't my fault.
Did the photo?
I was worried
Never
Matt was
mind.
going to lose it. He was saucy. I like it.
That's pretty big, man.
Katie Larson says
I think
that
I
she
can.
can't see the
I can
best
fit
looking
that
guy.
over top of my wedding ring while it's on my hand.
It's dual purpose.
have you tried-
You can use your imagination.
Have you tried not having dainty little lady fingers?
Well, it just comes. It
Let me-
just comes naturally.
Let me try your ring on.
It's not gonna be able to
break
fit,
it.
man.
I still
It's
have to get
silicone.
mine resized. I can't wear it now. It's too big.
It's too big.
Yeah.
What size
Yeah.
did you have?
Mine doesn't fit either, guys.
I want to say it was like a 13,
13, yeah.
12 or 13.
Well, this is a 12.
Your girlfriend is watching the live stream, and she's disappointed we can't see
That's
you.
still a little too big.
That's okay.
Yeah. So maybe you need an 11 then at least.
Yeah. I'll have to go in and get it fitted.
There we go. All right. So anyway, yeah, the wedding was over the weekend. Susan Bell did the officiating, and it went well. Amazing turnout. Excited to have everybody there. It's overwhelming, and it goes so fast.
Oh, it is.
Did everyone come that was supposed to?
No, I guess we
Could
probably need to
Could
call
you
out a few
name
names.
them
Yeah.
by name?
Yeah, Travis Wyke.
Yeah.
he RSVP'd and didn't show. So
there was an extra plate of food that ended up going to waste.
Wyke, like Budweiser, if you could send your check to cover your expenses to the Potter family, they would appreciate that. They need their reimbursement. No, it was fun.
Nobody tripped.
Really good time. Nobody tripped.
Actually,
I did get a bug in my eye and a little bit of tear came to my face, and people accused me of crying, but that wasn't the case.
one person did fall into a hole.
Okay. All right. If they sue me, a lot worse is
I
coming
know
to them.
that there weren't any bugs there because I sprayed for those.
Yeah, I was a part of that.
I did notice that there weren't any bugs out there. I was
It was
really
a Christmas miracle.
impressed. It was.
So,
Yep.
but the amount of people that kicked in to help and make it happen. We didn't use a wedding venue. We were at Danny's house on Greensboro Pike in the Westwood area in Newcastle, and it was like a park-like setting. We had 100 by 40-foot tent set up and another 20 by 40-foot tent set up. Audrey's in the chat saying, "Don't forget about the amazing wedding coordinator." During the rehearsal, Audrey picked up a job of, "Hey, you're going to tell people when to walk." So that she did a great job with that. Everything was
And your
timed
mom
very
at
well.
one point told somebody, "I don't know. Ask Audrey. She's the wedding coordinator."
Well, during the rehearsal dinner, we were doing the walk down, and I walked a little early, and she goes, "Well, I guess he goes whenever he wants." It's like, okay, I'm listening. I'll do it better.
I love that woman.
The venue looked awesome, though. It really did. Me and my girlfriend, we were there.
Are you shopping for potential places when the day
Possibly.
comes?
But we got stuck at dinner with 2 random people, which at first was like, oh, great. But they were really cool. Like, we talked
who
the
were
whole
they?
time. Someone Sarah knew. The guy had
The mustache?
he had a mustache.
Yeah, that was the bridesmaids.
Oh,
How's
He
Drew.
had
It was Joel Osteen.
yes. But
It does look like him,
he was
yeah.
asking who owned the place because
Yeah.
it was so nice, and I told him, "Oh, it's that guy over there. It's his brother." And he goes, "Oh, the one with all the gray hair." And I go, "Yeah, dude, that's him."
Yeah, well,
Oh,
he's
no.
dead to me now.
Danny is no longer going to give money to the Osteen Church.
No, not
No.
anymore.
Yeah.
So remember whenever Chase got in trouble for saying he's not proposing till he has to?
Yeah, that happened. I tried really hard to get the bouquet, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah.
The bouquet's not what you are supposed to get.
Oh well.
It's the garter.
Garter. I
You're
tried.
such a pretty girl.
I tried hard to get
not gay
both,
Chase.
Jer and Danny.
Tried to sneak
I
in on
tried
that
hard to get
bouquet.
both because that's how bad I want to get married.
So I was not prepared for how difficult the garter toss is.
See, I could have given you pointers, but you wouldn't take any marriage advice from me whatsoever.
So the garter.
wonder why.
I did the. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna break that 1,000-day record of yours, Danny.
Wait. No, I made 1,000 days.
You have a total number?
It was almost 5.
5,000.
5 years.
Oh, you were married for 5 years?
That's a long time.
Yeah. I was divorced at like 4.47.
Almost 5
April
years.
4th.
Hey, you remember the date you were divorced?
Yeah.
Is it kind of like an anniversary now?
That's the day I got married.
Is it really?
You passed it off to me.
The same year, 2015?
15, yeah.
14.
So you guys
It was
had
a year
a year
before.
overlap.
We're sort of anniversary buddies.
Yeah, kind
And
of.
neighbors.
Yeah,
Wow.
crazy.
There's a lot in
Incredible.
common.
You know,
I've learned so much already.
we don't have to talk about the divorce. We'll move on to happy things.
Oh yeah, so the reception was cool. We did the garter and the bouquet toss.
Mm-hmm. Who caught the garter?
So there was a false start on the garter. The first time it went.
No,
back,
that was a dud. That was not a
it
false
barely
start.
flew at all. It wasn't very springy. I expected it to
You
have
gotta
more,
have a flick of the wrist.
yeah. Well,
Sometimes
over
things don't go
over
right the first
the
time.
right shoulder. It didn't go well. So
Yeah.
the second time I got it out there a
Yeah.
little further.
Yeah.
And I have stood in the freaking garter line for 15 years, right? 20 years. I should have known that they always end up short.
Yep.
And stood further forward, or further towards the guys, but I didn't think of it. There's a lot going on. So I was all the way on the front side of the dance floor, and we had this luxuriously huge dance floor for this thing. It was like 30 feet long. So I goofed that part up. But the first time, Aaron Ewert, our buddy who's been on the show, he came in holding his bush light and slid forward, tried to catch it, and he missed out. And then the next time, another participant on the Wall Network, Tanner Purdue, actually wound up with it.
Yep, that's right. He was wearing a Winnie the Pooh tie.
That was a nice tie.
I
Dressed
think
to kill.
he actually caught it with his head because he ended up wearing it the rest of the
He did. He wore it the rest of the night, and then the next day we saw messages where he's like totally thought that was just a headband.
Zach Lee is in the chat. He's been married. Zach's 3 weeks married now, and he says, "Yeah, the garter toss is surprisingly difficult."
Yep.
We ducked out on Zach's. I didn't actually stay that long. I didn't need to take a garter because
Oh,
I knew
man.
I was already on the list. I was already set. And then the bridesmaids they lined up, and Katie. I really thought Katie was going to catch that chase.
I was so happy she did it.
I was expecting
Oh.
hard.
Morgan's a hustler.
So my sister has. She's a lot like Sarah. Caught like 3 in a row, and Sarah's not an athlete. When a girl is motivated to get a bouquet, they're going to get the bouquet. And my sister had gotten, I don't know, probably a half dozen of them. So she literally went in playing Wing Girl, trying to teach young John Phillips, a Patreon subscriber.
Mm-hmm.
His oldest daughter Morgan is about, I don't know, 6 years old, 8 years old, somewhere there. Danny, you want to guess?
No, she's 8.
She's
She'll
8.
be 9
She's 8
November
or 9.
2nd.
So
Yeah.
she was out on the dance floor.
No, that sounds
and,
super creepy that I said that.
Danny.
We share the same birth date, and I'm 4-H leaders with her mom, so it's not weird.
It's not creepy.
Alan Millerini's in the chat. Hello, Alan.
I tried teaching Morgan how to play the guitar while we were at Danny's house, and I turned the overdrive up on the guitar amp, and she absolutely loved it. And she was like,
Security is pretty weak at the house if you got in.
she's like, turn that up more. I really like that. And I was like, all right. So I cranked it up. She's like, yeah, it was awesome. I felt fulfilled.
I learned that they use a stunt bouquet. They don't actually use the bride's bouquet. They use a stunt bouquet. So it had been in 2 or 3 other weddings of Sarah's friends. And so it got tossed. Hannah does the knockdown and sends it directly to Miss Phillips.
Nice.
So
It was
I don't know
perfect.
Going.
I don't know
going, Hannah.
what 4th grader she's dating, but that kid is in for a world of trouble because they're next.
Yeah.
We're hoping it's a Neil.
Oh man,
That's pretty good.
yeah. So I think everybody had a good time. Food was good. Temptations did the food and really enjoyed that.
Yep.
I want to talk about what we did the morning of the wedding.
I was going to give Kate a chance to say, "Hey, I wanted some modern music."
Oh, you want to
Picking on the 70s
you want to
funk
dish
we
it
got.
out?
No, it was okay.
You weren't that okay.
Listen.
At the reception.
I like to dance. I might be kind of
Yeah.
quiet when it comes down to dancing.
You were dancing.
I like to cut a
Aaron
rug.
Ewert was killing it.
He
You were
gets his
dancing.
groove on. man.
I just wanted to battle Aaron. I just wanted to dance battle him.
You just
Yep.
didn't feel brick house. like
Dakota,
you did.
wasn't
Yeah.
that what you were doing with Aaron on the dance floor?
Yeah, I battled.
Oh, I saw some from the rear. There was some video. Aaron and Dakota had a strong moment.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Oh, it exists.
Kade and I had a dance off planned, but they wouldn't play our song.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe the next one.
Until next time.
Yeah, our little sister gets
Chase.
married next year. Or
Chase.
Chase.
I tried, guys.
If
tried.
Hannah would invite the other three of us in the room, then we could go have a dance off.
I'm pretty tight with Hannah, and I feel like I can get a +8
All right.
because it
yeah.
would be.
Chase.
I know where your house is. She's gonna have it there, right?
No, yeah, that's. I think we're done at the house.
How many groomsmen are you going to have, Chase?
As many as I can get, man.
Really?
I got a lot of buddies.
Yeah.
You got a lot of buddies.
Yeah, we kept it small. I'm just saying, like, looking around the room here, two,
Hey,
three guys
if-
going to make the cut?
Well,
Whoa.
I'll say this: if Katie needs a bridesman, I'll step in
Sweet.
to help even things out. Yeah. If you
I'll
need
wear a
that.
dress.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Katie, we're gonna make it
I've
happen.
seen-
I get to go to the bachelorette party and the bachelor party.
I've seen Danny in a dress before.
That's not true.
Okay, kilts are not skirts.
Yeah, time out. I want to know when the dress happened.
I'm sorry, it was a different night. I remember it was. I've got my story slightly messed up. It was another fellow in your home.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, that was not me. I was chasing him, but I wasn't in the dress.
Oh man, that was another fireball night. Anyway, so the morning of, we wanted to blow off a little steam, and man, we went go-karting.
Yeah, that's right. We went down to
Newcastle
the
Motorsports
Newcastle Motorsports, did some go-karting, went on those tracks. I didn't realize that those things would reach 50 miles an hour, just the rental cars.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that they went that fast. And then,
And what a great
God.
value.
dude, it was
it's
like $70.
$66.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome for the
And,
time.
and you get 60 minutes of on-track time.
Just a whole hour
we
of
used,
near-death
we used like
experiences.
45 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
three weeks ago we went to Sarah Fisher Racing, which was a great time, but it was $40 for 2 races.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
7-minute races.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
It's,
is.
yeah, $40,
I'm buying
$50 for
go-karts.
7 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm hooked.
Why not
Dude, it was
just
so good.
why not just rent
Me and
them and let
Danny's
somebody
going to
else do
jump
the
on the
maintenance?
national circuit.
Yeah, no, 3 years, Indy 500. Pit crew, guys.
Oh, hell yeah, I'll do strategy.
So speaking about the national circuit, at the very last race that we did 3, and they opened it up and they had a national race coming in, and they extended it to
We had the full 1
their
mile
full
track.
1 mile track, and they had all these guys that were practicing out there with us, and they're going like 90
It
miles
was
an hour.
scary.
Dude, that was freaking me
It
out.
stressed me out,
Yeah.
for sure.
Cousin Rick parked his cart.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said it had a low tire.
Uh-huh.
I will say his car was a lot harder to drive.
Was it?
Yeah.
How do you know? Did you drive it?
Yeah, because I had to switch carts because mine, like the little monitor didn't work. So I took his, and you could barely get around a turn. It would drift every time.
That's interesting.
It was great. I was 60 pounds lighter than the last time I went out there. I was within a tenth or two of some people that were significantly lighter than me. I felt very good about myself. They've got the onboard timing so that you can see that you're a quarter second faster that lap or whatever, and you're just pushing and pushing and pushing.
Yeah, that's what made
Or
it so
10
fun.
seconds behind. Either way.
I was
Hey,
I was
I felt-
right there on cousin Brian for about 5 laps in a row in the big track, and finally coming out of the big chicane, I kind of hit the rumble strips and lost it.
Uh-oh.
And Danny and Cade were right behind us, and I took it in the door.
Well, what was funny is I had a really good lap going, and I hit Jer going every bit of 40.
Yeah.
And just square in the side. And I was pissed at
yelled at
Jer
me.
because he wrecked in front of me.
Yeah, that's how I was too. Like,
but we spun off the track. My front bumper folded under the front of the car.
Yeah.
Danny, I'm just like, yelling at Tyson to get over to fix me. Because in my mind, I'm like, no, we got to keep going, guys. This is serious.
It
crashed
was a
out and I
bad
kept
enough
rolling.
wreck that I saw it in slow motion because it happened right next to me, and I looked back and I was like, they might not be okay. That was a pretty good.
Jared's
hit.
got to get married today.
See, I saw that one, and I slammed on my brakes, dude. It freaked me out a little bit.
There was one time that Chase, you were poking. You were going pretty slow, man.
Listen, man.
You couldn't catch up.
I was in the worst car, okay? And I'll be honest, when I walked into the track,
A lot of excuses.
I was a little intimidated. Okay, I was expecting arcade racing. I wasn't expecting, street racing. Like, I didn't know it was Fast and Furious.
Vin Diesel was going to be there.
Yeah, I had no
Helmets,
idea.
Vests, neck restraints.
I was
jackets,
expecting to maybe
gloves.
go 20 that day, not 50.
So you were in front of me,
Yes.
and I had been on your butt for like a bunch of laps in previous races.
I learned that I wasn't going to pass people, but I could piss them off a little bit when they try to pass me.
Right.
So that was my game plan.
So that's what you did, and as I'm coming up behind you one time, I think that you were like, you know what, I'm going to try to go for it. So you started like...
Oh, I did.
You started following the lines, you started slamming that gas pedal, and then you hit one of a sharp corner, and you started drifting
I lost
right in
my
front of
back
me.
end.
Yeah.
Completely.
And I'm just like you, at like 40 miles an hour, I just plowed him. And I... like
Where did
my
you plow
entire-
him?
It was in
It
the
was in
back
the rear.
end.
Yeah. Rear quarter panel.
So the back end of my cart goes up in the air. I come out of the seat, and the same thing happened where the front end is underneath of my cart, and I didn't stop. I just kept going. And for the entire rest of the race, I'm driving with the front end of my cart underneath of it.
I let you pass me after that.
Yeah, you did. You were like, go.
I stopped and pointed at the front of my car like, no, this is gonna be slower. I need this fixed. Tyson,
Bring me a zip tie.
come on.
I didn't know there were lines you were supposed to follow.
You don't know how to drive. You don't understand like an arc and an apex.
I didn't get that until like the last race.
Yeah.
After we finished the first set, we got back and we looked at our steering wheel and it gives us all of our times. And I asked the driving lady that was running our course, it's like, is this my time? She goes, no. And then she pushed it and she goes, oh shit, it is.
Yeah.
And I was 2 seconds off the track record, which was like 2 seconds is a mile in racing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I'd give you
I
a
was-
cookie if you were 2/10 off.
okay, I was like, all right, now we're ready to go.
Yeah,
And
now
we went
let's
to the
get it
short
going.
track, and it beat the shit out of me.
I had so much fun on the short track.
Cade beat me by like 2 seconds on the short track.
Yeah,
The short track was my favorite by far.
I like it.
Yeah,
it
I
requires
went
a
off
lot
the
more
road on that
driving.
one quite a
Yeah,
bit.
it
Oh, does it?
And with that
Yeah.
little turn, the little one where you had to go
You got left,
really,
right.
really,
yeah.
really quick, I just went through the grass almost every time.
That was you in
you
front of
could-
me. You just went right.
I did that.
I did
once
that
just to pass
over and
Ryan.
over
Yeah.
again.
Just like, I'm not messing with you. Here we go.
I was like, this is faster anyways. It's less work.
I saw you. You were in front of me at one point before I passed you,
Yeah.
and I saw you do that, and I was like, "Look at this guy!" Like,
Well, the first time I did it was a complete accident. I was like, where'd the road go? But you guys are definitely faster than me on the go-karts, but I definitely drive faster than you guys on the highway. Maybe
It's
not
all right,
you
man.
two,
you're
but I'm definitely faster than both of you.
Oh, driving
Jeremiah and
driving to
Dakota.
Nashville.
you're faster than me at a lot of things.
So
Chase,
I actually heard the rumors,
You know it's true, right?
not firsthand experience like you.
Oh,
no, we're gonna
I'm not even going to say
delicately move
anything.
forward. So rehearsal dinner. You guys all came to the rehearsal dinner, right? Everybody was there.
I missed it.
You missed it.
Cade
feel
skipped.
I feel bad that I missed it because it seemed like I missed a lot.
The fireworks.
There were fireworks.
We played baseball with Roman candles.
So this goes back to 10 years
probably,
ago.
Probably 9 or 10 years ago at David and Patty Jurgen's house.
Kirk Davis, Garen Davis,
Michael Jurgen.
Michael Jurgen, Jonathan Jurgen, and Donald McCoy, and myself and Danny, and Tabitha Clark now, and
Wes.
and Wes now.
Throw a Tanner in there.
And Tanner Davis. Yeah, that crew. For years we would hang out with them at the Jurgen home.
Completely sober.
Never any alcohol. Safety first. And they had cannons forever. And David would fire off black powder cannons.
that he machined himself
that he made himself.
in the house of Chrysler Kokomo.
Nobody knows that for sure. Anyway, the we went from that to we're gonna have a little more fun. So Roman candles were purchased, and there would be a welder's vest and a baseball bat and a catcher and a couple of welder's helmets or some sort of face coverage, and would light the Roman candles. And there's videos out there, videos and pictures on my Facebook going back a decade now of Roman candle baseball. Somehow somebody decided we were going to go ahead and do that again for my wedding rehearsal.
Yeah, Ryan and Josie went out and bought
a bunch of fireworks.
Yeah, I gave Josie my credit card, and I said, "You get $100." Brian and Josie went in Steve's Mustang, and they all went together. And Josie said, "I have $100. I want big booms and lots of fun."
There you go.
And this is on July 5th,
6th.
6th. And the lady goes, "Oh, we've got deals for you." Brian threw in $40 too. So for $140, we got a lot of fun.
So we had the Roman candle baseball started out with we didn't have a catcher. It was kind of an abbreviated version, so there was no catcher. But
You were first up.
I was first up, and it was the first couple pitches are low and slow, and then after about the third one coming out, they start screaming.
Yeah,
and the pitcher gets real aggressive and starts to pitch you inside.
I gave you a little chin music.
So the fourth pitch, I was swinging too slow, but I got to first base because I got winged in the left elbow.
You want to talk about the bases?
No. Anyway, so I took one to the elbow and had a little burn mark on me for the rest of the weekend. Minor, it wasn't terrible. It was fine. And then I think the next person up was cousin Donnie, and
you need to talk about Donnie for a minute once you're done.
All right, yeah. So cousin Donnie, we did the same thing, and I pitched him a little too far on the inside and caught him between the numbers.
Ooh!
As I hit him, he dropped to the ground running away, and I'm like, "Oh, you don't run." So then we just continued to chase him with it across the yard.
Are there videos of this?
Yeah. There's video.
Yep.
If you look, I'm tagged in it, and you search my Facebook, you'll find them out there.
Were you part of the Roman candle?
No. So the next thing that happened was I was done at that point. I said I've escaped. I had a helmet on. I'm good. Then it was some sort of a Roman candle suicide squad with about 8 guys with Roman candles, and y'all just started shooting at each other. At one point,
Danny was chasing me.
I watched, and Dakota had 4 dudes chasing him, and Dakota's just running off towards the
4
woods.
guys chasing me, and I just was holding it like behind me as I'm sprinting away, and hoping to death that I just hit somebody in the face so they stop.
So I was sitting in my garage the whole time this was going on.
You should have just came down.
Couple houses down. Well, I was reloading ammo. I was getting behind on it, but I had my garage door open, and I could hear fireworks and screaming. And I was like, man,
How excited were you?
it sounded pretty fun.
I'm missing a party.
Oh shit, Danny needs me. No, what was really funny about Donnie? He's our third cousin.
Yeah, our dads are first cousins, so whatever the hell that is.
But Donnie, we grew up with Donnie. He's 10 years older than Jeremiah. He's 13 years older than I, and
A lot more life experience.
He made the
He was
trip
on the show
down
last
here.
week.
Yeah, and he's an absolute riot. One of my favorite people to hang out with. It. So I get a message when he gets to the airport that I got a Mustang GT as his rental car, and I was like, "We're gonna have some fun." So
Boy,
I'm in my garage.
Those people at Hertz certainly made a mistake.
I'm in my garage after he gets there, and he's going back to Jeremiah's house to pick something up. I was like, this little kid Will says he won't roast the tires. So he just does a really good burnout in front of my house, and I sent the Snapchat to his wife and to everyone. Actually, it was just on my story, and his wife saw it. And Donnie's wife's like, "We're not rich. You can't be doing that." I'm like, all right. So when Donnie got back, I was like, "Hey, can I drive that?" He's like, "Yeah, not a problem." And I had Will, a 2.5-year-old, and I was like, "Well, we're just going up the road a couple times. Like it's fine." So I go up to Cade's house, and I back up his driveway and do a burnout and fishtail out of it, and then do a couple burnouts in front of my house.
Cade has the paved driveway in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted Cade to come ride with us, but he wasn't home. I was like, if I know how to get
I think
Cade,
I was home, but I was in the shower.
if I know how to get Cade out of the house, this is it. It's
could Cade come out and play?
So then I went down to the Westwood School and did a couple donuts, and then
This is a full confession for the
Oh,
Henry
it
County
was-
Sheriff's Department. that's
it was
listening.
absolutely. Come find me, okay?
Did you die?
No, but I
Okay,
did
good.
realize that there is a reason for a child seat
Oh no!
and a seatbelt.
Yeah.
But
God.
it was really fun.
Stepfather of the year material right here, boys. and
Now
girls.
we need to put some new
is that
tires
why-
on a Hertz rental car.
Is that why
Yeah.
before the wedding, all the other kids were running around and Will just was walking slowly with a ginger ale?
Will wore a helmet the entire weekend.
Yeah, he literally did. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And in slow
The
circles.
people at Hertz got a Mustang back with slicks on it.
Yep.
Nothing parties like a rental.
That's exactly what my Snapchat said.
That's,
and the
that's
Morals
what-
got a rental.
That's what Kevin and Libby said about the 15-passenger van as well.
I tried to do a burnout in that when I took Mark and Jessica back, and it wouldn't do
With
one.
another 4-month-old infant in the car.
Is it
I
is
like
it
to
front
park-
wheel drive though?
No, it was rear wheel drive. It just
You could always neutral drop it.
well,
Yeah.
I actually did try that.
You tried that?
Yeah,
in the
on the way
rental
back.
van.
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
Oh, nice. I love that. I love that you tried it.
Do a reverse J turn or something. Real fun. I
tried to
don't
pull-
do that stuff
pull-
with any of the road cars that I get.
No.
I tried to pull half of it on the ditch and do it in the dirt to bring it up on the road. That didn't work either.
Speaking
Yeah.
of that ditch, there was an incident.
Yes. So our cousin's boyfriend, but he's been around for 20 years. His name's Ryan, and he looks like tattooed Jesus now. He had the Willie Nelson braids for the wedding, and they were working front security.
Nice long hair.
Yeah, he brushed it. I helped him, but he was working security at the front of the road, just pushing people on, and he was doing a fine job. Somebody goes to pull into the field across the road, which Cade runs the hay for, and they drug the ass end of their vehicle. And as they're walking up, they're like, "Oh, the homeowner could have done something about this and like filled it." And Ryan goes, well, I think he was just expecting to use some like common sense,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that went over with a scoff. So
That,
if you're listening,
and it was you.
no, that wasn't when Josie did it.
No,
that was a
saying,
different time.
if you're listening and you were the one that drug the ass end of your car,
Yeah,
Danny and Cade really don't care.
yeah, we don't care. Neither
Yeah.
one of us own the property.
There actually is a level spot if you go between the corn and the telephone pole.
And
it's
which
pretty
it was,
level.
it was open. Back to the common sense.
Future reference if anyone else is going to come out to a party.
For the next wedding out there.
Dakota's headphones are a lot better than mine.
Are they?
Yeah,
I had to take mine
They're
off.
really
Mine
nice.
kept like coming in and out.
Oh.
It's not.
That's okay.
It's okay.
Maybe we'll
No,
have
no,
this,
Jared,
maybe we'll have this production
I
meeting
kind of
off
like
the
it.
air.
I've never done it without it. I
It's
kind
a
of
big
like
deal.
without
Fix
it.
him, Jer.
Should I drink the rest of his beer?
Yeah, go for
Yes.
it, man. Make yourself comfortable.
All right.
You're the host that everybody wanted. He's drinking.
I'll finish
Chase
it,
is just nailing his beer. Just tip it up.
I think that was a specialty beer that he
one?
was.
That was the last one.
I'm good. I'm good. Oh, really?
Oh,
Oh,
man.
well.
All
It was
right.
good.
So, yeah. Any other magical stories? What was your experience like as a wedding guest?
It was awesome.
Was the bar okay?
The bar was great. That was honestly, I'm sorry. That was my favorite part of the wedding.
Thank you,
the bar.
MJ and AJ.
Yes. Yeah.
Chili water?
So I was sitting.
Chili Water
I
Brewing
had
Company.
great seats in the shade, and I saw you guys walking down, and Dakota came up, and I winked at him like this. And then I tried to do the same to you, but we didn't make eye contact, so I looked like a loser.
Just winking at the groom.
And then, you're standing up there doing your thing, and you started crying a little bit, and I was like, yes, Jeremiah's not a serial killer. 'Cause you said you weren't going to cry.
For weeks I'm a serial killer. I'm not going to cry. I'll be okay. I've got no emotion at all.
I knew it would crush you a little bit.
It got me a little, and then in the we did a rehearsal, like a receiving line, not a rehearsal line, a receiving line.
That
and
guy.
then when Donnie came up, I cried again there too.
I went. That was good.
It made the wedding better. My girlfriend saw it, and I was like, listen, if we get married, I'm not going to do that. And she was like, well, I'm not going to marry you then.
You have to spray
If
the
you
saline in
want.
your eyes.
I can make you cry.
Uh oh.
Ooh.
So
I'm disappointed in you, Chase.
Chase has taken Dakota's seat, and Dakota just noticed it now. You haven't even noticed your empty beer yet.
Oh no!
It was really good. I didn't know it was your last one.
Yeah, that was my last beer I had in the fridge.
I'm sorry, man, but it was a good beer.
Now I just have Bud Lights.
Dakota is crushed right
I
now.
don't like
I know
those,
you guys
man.
can't see this, but he is just crushed.
What am I gonna drink this weekend?
Oh man! All right, so beforehand, Dakota's 7 months married now, 8 months married, so 9 months.
Something.
God, the baby should be due by now, man.
Yeah,
9
you would
months.
think she's not even showing it.
9 months in, so it was like deja vu going through this again. Except we changed shoes. Dakota had my role and I had Dakota's role.
That's right. It was a lot less stressful for me this time.
Before the wedding, I was really good. Like we were hanging out, had a great time with a photographer. We were shooting pool in the billiard room. My dad was there, changed clothes, hanging out with the dads, joking around, and then the crowd started to show up about 45 minutes before the wedding, and I was standing on the back porch, and it was like
the wedding suites.
in the wedding suite, yeah. And you could look out through Danny's screen porch and start to see the people coming in, and then a handful of people got invited onto the porch, and it got to be like, oh,
It's
farts.
coming.
Yeah. And I was like, I had to walk away.
On
I
a scale of 1 to 10, how much did it hit you at that point?
I wasn't like nervous, but I was like, I need alone time.
Yeah.
Like, not like total alone time, but like I
support.
needed a little quiet
Well,
time.
it's because whenever you're there, everybody comes up to you and says, "Are you ready? Are you ready? It's your big day."
Are you nervous? Are you nervous, Jared?
This is a really
it
big
going?
deal.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're going to do
You
it?
sure you want to do it?
Yeah.
It's still time. You still have time. You can run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
I know,
everybody
'cause I
says.
was the one
Donnie's
doing
got that
that.
Mustang.
Yeah. So I think Dakota, I don't know if Dakota Spidey sensed it or how it went down, but I just like, I'm going to go to the other room. So I went to the front parlor room at the Morrill Estate and just literally sat down on the couch and had a drink and just sat there and chilled. And Dakota came in and talked to me.
Well,
And-
I knew from my personal experience that being alone right beforehand, you're just alone with your thoughts. And I didn't know if it was the same for you as it was for me, but for me, being alone with my thoughts is not a good place. At any given time, and especially on a day like that. So I was like, I'm going to go in there, talk to him about anything but the wedding. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't even remember the stories I was telling, but I was just like,
I think we talked podcast a little bit.
I was just pulling stuff out of my butt. Like, I need to talk about something so he's not thinking about what's about to happen in 30 minutes.
Danny was parking cars or something at some point. Cousin Rick came walking in, and Audrey came in and talked and sat with us.
That's what I got pulled away because being at my house,
Yeah,
I got
you
caught
were
up in
host.
100,000 things. Like, do you need? People are asking for scissors. We're running out of ice. There's the rugs outside. Like all kinds of random
We
things.
found out that Katie and Chase were responsible for that rug.
No, they weren't though.
I couldn't help it, man.
But
Just
a
get
soft-
those urges. It was all that
We
music.
needed a soft place to live.
This is all the really good music.
Yeah, the music that makes you go.
but
It's a very romantic time.
But I'm very thankful that Jeremiah had a wonderful supporting cast to help make things happen.
Yeah.
And to fill roles, and that's what great friends are for.
Yeah. Oh, my boss, he was at the wedding too, and the next day he came up to me. He's like, "Man, you have a lot of great family and friends." I was like, "Yeah, I know I do." Really?
I
It's-
talked to Mike for a little bit.
yeah.
Your boss was at the wedding?
Yeah.
Did he go through the receiving line?
No, he skipped it. In fact, he was the one I called out. One of the ones I called out after Danny and my sister Hannah Diane gave the maid of honor and the best man speeches, and then Sarah picked up the mic and addressed the crowd. I'm like, okay, well, let Sarah do that. And then it's like, Jeremiah, you have to say something. I'm like, I wasn't going to say anything. So I thanked everybody, and then I'm like, all right, we're going to make this funny. So I started calling people out by name, being like, you skip the receiving line, and you skip the receiving. Everybody that works with me,
That's
skip
right,
the
yeah.
receiving line. Apparently
To
they
be
don't
fair,
wait.
it was an open bar.
They see me 5 days a week. Apparently, they don't want to wait 45 minutes in line to see me.
Let's go get a drink.
See, my plan was find the best table. So I was thinking find the table between the bar and the dance floor. And then everyone else I knew went the other side. And I didn't realize until it was too late that the tables had numbers on them.
Yeah.
And out of like 30-something tables, we were number 33. And I was like, oh, no, we're never going to eat. But it was good. It was a fun time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in table number 1.
Yeah, we got Dakota got to eat like 5th.
Yeah, well, I got up in the line first, and then I went and sat with my wife Audrey and Kade and his wife Jade, and so I got to go through the line the second time.
You went through twice.
Yeah,
There you go.
That's not true. I had a task to go get refills at the bar for everybody. So
that is one nice thing is I did not feel bad at all about skipping anyone in line and just going to get drinks the entire night.
Yeah.
I'm not waiting in line. Are you kidding?
It was like I didn't have to really skip everybody. And people were just like,
they just move
go
out
ahead.
of the way.
Oh, go ahead. I'm like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'm wearing the suit.
Yeah.
I'm very important here.
You saw me standing up there. Like,
I have status.
that's right.
Oh,
I
man.
just started showing like mortgage statements, and they were like, "All right, that's fine."
It was like going to an auto parts store in Newcastle or the Kroger because everybody knows your name if you're a local celebrity.
We'll wrap things up with the public thank yous. Chris Spangle, thank you very much for the introduction to the bride.
That's right.
And for running the iPad. I'm looking forward. Spangle ran some video for us, and I'm looking forward to seeing his copy of that.
Yep. Spangle's also been helping me with some things for the podcast. So there's another thank you for Spangle.
Very much so. And then of course Danny for the venue. And then if you guys want a few more
Danny.
debaucherous photos, we did have our DJ brought a photo booth for a couple $100 more. We had a photo booth, and there are pictures you can flip through there on I think they're public. They're shared publicly.
Some of them should not be shared.
The photo booth went pretty late into the night, and there's some pictures with Danny's girl. There's some pictures with Kade, and there's some pictures with Brandon Hull's American Hero.
Kate's got a picture in there with another person that is my favorite picture of all time.
Yeah. There's a picture of me kissing Kade. There's a picture of Kade.
Was
with,
it mouth to mouth?
No,
Yeah,
it was more
mouth
mouth,
to mouth.
to temple.
Yeah.
Right on the lips.
Nice.
How wet was that kiss, Kade?
Pretty moist.
Yeah.
It was a good one though. So
1 to 10.
I'd give it a hard 8.
Ooh,
Nice.
Heart 8.
Yeah, Sarah's a
Sarah-
lucky woman.
Sarah's getting the good stuff.
So, all right. Anyway, it was Danny's talking to Chase, Kate, Dakota off.
picture.
Oh man,
Do you have show notes over there? Are you okay?
I'm okay. I wrote the show notes.
You got 'em
so
memorized?
I got it.
We're gonna pivot. We've talked wedding for a while.
All right. Hey Chase, here's a new duty since you're in my seat.
Yes. Oh, hold
Now
on. Are
that-
we moving on? Are we moving on to the boring
Now-
stuff?
Yeah. Now that we're getting into
Can we switch spots?
Yeah.
well, now that we're
panic.
getting into the good stuff, if
The
you want to
pure
take my
panic.
job, you have
The
to
pure
share.
panic is setting
you have
into
to share it
Chase.
now to the group citizens of
Oh,
Henry
here.
County.
You better switch
his
me. I'm gonna.
face just went red.
I'm gonna screw stuff up. Let's talk about the prisons.
No. What about the doughboy?
How do we keep people out of the doughboy?
You got to share this, buddy. Share it. I want people and
So,
citizens of Henry County.
I got an
to see
idea,
this.
guys. Since the doughboy's moving, thank God. What if we put an Axl Rose statue in the original
He's
spot?
from Indiana.
He's from Indiana. He's a hero. I think it's a great idea.
How about just Axl Rose's giant mouth? That would be a good one.
Chase, what would you do to that mouth?
Man,
You're
how do
desecrating.
you zoom into my face? Do I just?
You just click on your face.
Just tap it.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, there you go. You did it.
Am I on it?
You did it. You've done it. This is a.
All right.
is an
How do
actual-
I zoom out?
I think you just pinch and zoom
I
out
think
wider.
no. Leave it there.
Yeah, you've
Oh.
you've cut out Cade.
Oh,
Now you can watch yourself on the screen. This is really, really good for the podcast.
I love
great,
this.
guys.
Yeah, this is good.
Hey, we might need to stand in.
all right. You
sometime,
ready to
so
switch me?
This is training.
Yeah,
I-
let's
do this
switch
with
back.
it?
This is live
Yeah.
on the air, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that care. We're syndicated on Indiana Talks. Once again, you're listening to the Boss Hog Liberty Podcast, episode 68. Jeremiah Morrill, Dakota Davis, Danny Morrill,
Can
Kade
you
Koger,
show Cade the camera?
and Chase Payton. Why do you interrupt me when we're doing this? Why are you so difficult? I already thanked you
It's
once.
in my nature.
You're just like, let's talk about this thing nobody knows about.
Oh, it's still zoomed in on Kate.
Yeah, it's straight on Kate's face.
Oh no,
Poor guy.
Dakota. Why are your headphones a lot better than ours?
I don't know, man.
Are you holding out?
I think so.
I'm going to turn up number 4, and we'll see if that's Cade or if that's Chase. Is that you or
Is
not?
that me?
Did you get louder?
labeled. I think
That wasn't you.
I don't know.
Did that turn you up? No, that's me.
Kate
All right,
doesn't have
next
his
one.
headphones on, so
Is
he
that
doesn't
Chase?
know.
Yeah.
Let's get it on.
Is this Chase?
I think so.
Is
All right.
it louder now?
I think it's
No,
louder.
that one's me, buddy.
Oh,
That one must be Chase.
All right, I'm going to talk about the Henry County Jail. We're like an hour into this thing.
So we heard Tuesday night there was a criminal justice coordinating committee had a presentation at the Henry County Courthouse. The county council, county commissioners, the mayor of Newcastle, and the city council all attended this big joint meeting.
That's right. Yeah, we had like you said, it was a joint meeting between all of the city people. We had it between the county commissioners and county council. It was a pretty good meeting. It was interesting. It was the first joint meeting that I had ever gone to, so that's something I enjoyed, and I really liked watching all of them interact together. Because before the meeting started, Mark Koger, Rex Peckinpah, basically half of the city council, except for Aaron Dickin,
They just came over and sat down with us.
Sat down with us and started talking to us. So that was pretty neat. And then,
when you've arrived when Rex Peckinpah just wants to chat you up.
That's right.
I mean, that is ultimate status in Newcastle.
That is a real status symbol. Anyway, so
Danny's waving wildly
Danny's
off camera.
doing sign language.
Yes, we all want drinks. I don't care what you bring. Just bring something.
Well, since I don't have any more 3 Floyds, Chase.
It was delicious. I'd rate it like a 12 out of 10.
I gave it a 4.2 out of 5.
Let's go look.
Oh, man. It's like a baby's arm holding an apple.
So,
It's a Texas belt buckle.
all right, now that we are in Citizens of Henry County.
The entire community is listening, and we've got that show going on the other side of the camera.
All right, so as we were talking about the joint meeting, they had a firm that studies jails and detention centers professionally.
For the last couple of years, they've had a relationship with this guy, this consulting company, I think out of Colorado, maybe.
Yeah, and he has a bachelor's degree in statistics.
Yeah, something. Doesn't matter.
And he's also
qualified, and that's all we need to know.
He's also a former
Corrections
corrections
officer, whatnot.
So he did know what he was talking about. So he came forward. He did a multivariate analysis of what the prison or the jail population has looked like over the past 5 years, and then he went back even further than that and started showing some trends and some data that he had acquired, and then used all of this stuff. I think that he had, the occupancy trends, the amount of beds that are being used, who is occupying the beds, whether it's by length of stay, by the seriousness of the crimes. Very extensive analysis that he did. And then he used all of that data to form a future analysis of how many beds we will need through the year 2037. And what he ended up having was... through the year 2037, he had exponential rises by 2%.
Yeah, he had one model that was 1% growth and one that was 2% growth.
Correct.
And to be honest, for both of us, I think it kind of pegged the BS meter a little bit on the needs.
Oh, yeah, it definitely did for me, because I'm sitting here and I looked up the Henry County population statistics and was looking at those graphs as the meeting was going on. In the past 5 years, we've decreased by about 2%.
Yeah.
So... And that has been a trend over decades, right? Ever since Chrysler really slowed down. Okay, people were fleeing from Newcastle and Henry County. And I'm sitting here thinking, how can you exponentially expect a rise by 2% when the population is decreasing by that much every few years? Because if you continue on that trend, then obviously it doesn't make any sense, because the amount of people that are in the county you're going to show are supposed to be in jail.
Yeah.
So we've talked on this program a number of times about reasons why the jail population expands, and
Drugs.
Yeah, drugs are a portion
bad.
of it. Drugs are bad.
Okay.
But and they've done a number of things with a veterans court, with there's another court that's slipping my mind now. A veterans
there's
court,
a veterans
maybe
court, and then there's a
specific
drug court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they've been trying to turn people through as quickly as possible. And the consultant, before he even talked about the jail, said, hey, you need to have basically an advocate that's a justice advocate, getting people turned through as fast as possible so you don't have people slipping through the cracks, to try to speed things up. And the number of beds that are used, there's certain people that only stay in the jail a day or two, and they maybe use only 3 or 4 of the beds at a time, even though that's a high number of the people that flow through the jail in a month, because they don't stay.
Right.
And then there's another portion of people that stay for
the level 6 felonies.
30 to 90 days, the level 6s, who used to be people, and this is my contention on this issue, they used to be people that would be kept at a state facility, and now they have to stay in the counties.
Yeah, so that was, I don't remember when that passed through the legislature, but
in the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, it was here recently.
And Commissioner Baker, former Sheriff Baker, and Sheriff McCorkle both have been saying, hey, this is coming, it's going to be a problem. And that's why we've seen this, in my view, why we've seen this number jump back up in the last 2 or 3 years, because you have people that have to stay.
Yeah, you're absolutely
So they're
correct.
about 20% over capacity right now. And obviously Henry County's got to solve this issue. Everybody knows that this is an issue in Henry County, but the contention I have is that we are not alone.
Oh yeah, I was looking up statistics today, and I've been trying to do a lot of research, because a lot of what the financing was talking about was how are we going to pay for this, and no one ever moved past the point of just getting more taxes, right? So I'm thinking, how are we going to finance this? So I dug deep after the meeting in the past 2 days of looking throughout the state of Indiana, the different counties, what they've been doing, and I couldn't find anything new or interesting in the state of Indiana. So I just started breaching all across the country. And really what I discovered was our situation is not unique in the slightest. It's happening not just all over the state of Indiana, like we've said, but it is all across the United States. I mean, from California to Vermont, it's happening. And I was looking at statistics for all those, and it just seems like it's a constant battle for everyone, and trying to raise taxes, getting referendums on the ballot about taxes.
I did, just in watching the subject and watching news headlines, not an exhaustive, hey, looking at every county in the state of Indiana, trying to get a full detail, just from media reports in the last few months as we've been talking about this. Rush County, Henry County, Delaware County, Hancock County, Marion County, Adams County, and Fountain County have all had major jail reconstruction or construction projects that have been talked about being needed or actually are underway. You've got 92 counties or 91 counties that are trying to solve the same problem with these rising populations. And at some point you say, this is not something a county should be trying to solve. And these county councils and county commissioners and prosecutors and judges, they're all dealing with laws that are created by the state, and the state just dumps these people back in the counties.
Yep. Yeah, so one of the points that was brought up by Mr. City Councilman Peckinpah was that he basically made the comparison that the state of Indiana, the state legislature, is doing the exact same thing with detention centers and correction facilities as what they've done with the education system, which would be taking more money but shouldering more of the burden on the localities. So basically, you have to do this, but we're going to keep taking more from you so that it makes it harder.
So the consultant came in and he said, you guys, we recommend you build up to a 350-head jail facility that also has classroom space and training space so that you can do some of the programs you have.
A rehab facility, a new office space.
Rehab, treatment, GED. And the former sheriffs and the current sheriff have all had different programs that they've done where they've taught guys how to learn trades while they're in jail and done GEDs and worked with Ivy Tech. And those are all things that are basically very much commended, but they want to expand on it. In my view, it's just anybody staying in that jail, anybody that's in that jail for more than 30 days, the state at that point needs to take responsibility. If criminal justice is broken in this country, in the state of Indiana, it doesn't matter where you're at. It's like if you're in an Indiana jail, you're in an Indiana jail. You don't have to be close to home at that point. If you're doing 2 weeks, then fine, keep you in Henry County. But otherwise, we need a regional jail or send you to a state jail, a state prison, and you go do your 6 months and then you come back.
Right.
But
that was one thing that I feel like Mr. Saunders, Tom Saunders, our District 54 representative at the State House, really, really should have been included in this talk, and him and Mrs. Lysing as well.
Mrs.
Yeah. I said Miss. I wanted to be politically correct.
I think Ms. would be politically correct. Doesn't matter.
Whatever.
Uh-oh. There are cans flying across the screen. This is going to be bad. I have soft hands. I caught it gently.
Ooh.
So,
but yeah, I think that they definitely should have been. But I definitely think that they should have been included in this conversation because a lot of this burden needs to be put on their shoulders, in my opinion.
So I have a plan. All the counties get together. They put their money together. And we buy an island. And we put everyone on an island.
You're going to put everybody in Australia?
We
make a game show.
We make a TV show.
Yeah.
Thunderdome
It's kind
style.
of like that
sounds a lot
mind.
like what's her name when she ran for mayor of Richmond had that plan.
Yeah, well,
Or a big reality.
I wasn't going to go
She's
there.
a smart lady.
She is.
So they talked about the first consultant came in, and this was all in the live stream. If you guys want to go back and watch it, Dakota used the Mevo camera, and the first hour of that meeting is entirely in the Boss Hog Liberty live stream on Facebook. After that, apparently the Mevo is rated when it's not plugged in for 1 hour.
Yep.
So we learned that we have 1 hour of video time, and then I had to go switch to the cell phone.
Yep.
So there are 2 more videos that we posted on our YouTube. You got to use all the platforms. And those, you can go to the Boss Hog YouTube page, and there's a 30-minute video. Part 1, it's marked, and a part 2 that's probably 20-25 minutes.
So if that
is the consultant from MBA, and then the commentary from all of the public officials that were at the meeting.
Which, to me, if you are interested in really what is going to happen with your money in the future, then those last 2 videos are just priceless amounts of information for you to have just in your magazine, because that's all it's talking about is how can you fund this, what can you do about it. And I think that everybody who is interested in this and wants to know what their money is going to be used for needs to watch those videos.
So basically, there were two ways that they talked about possibly being able to fund a new jail. This jail we have now was built in 1980, and it was done through property taxes.
Yep.
And at that time, there was a bond floated, and when that jail bond was paid for, that led to the construction of the Justice Center. And then from the Justice Center, then I think it went to the reconstruction or rehab of the facility, and now that bond is going to end in 2024. So in 2024, there's going to be some money available to where they could possibly reconstruct this jail.
Correct.
That's Avenue 1. However, since that time, because property tax caps were put in place, anything over $15 million in construction becomes a public referendum where everybody in the county has to vote on, are we going to raise property taxes to pay for this structure?
And according to Councilman Clay Morgan, the county can take out a large bond that pays off the Justice Center as well as helps pay for the jail.
So that's a possibility that's there. And that
which would not raise our taxes, but it would keep the county further in debt than what we are for a longer period of time.
That would maintain the debt service they have, but you wouldn't necessarily see an increase in your property taxes. But you're going to have that on the books for a long period of time. Option 2 is something that a number of candidates have mentioned so far, and that is a local income tax that was put in place by a tool that was put in place by the legislature this last year. Because all 92 counties are trying to solve this problem of 0.2% on your income.
And that new tax, I found out today, can only be put in place for up to 20 years. So you can't it can't ever breach that 20-year period as of right now. So
how many taxes get sunset? Danny, will you pick that up and play with it so much? You're bothering the entire world.
Yeah. What did you say?
I said those taxes, they say they're going to be sunset, but they never are.
Yeah, so I was talking to this with Clay a lot today. Clay Morgan, the councilman.
That is a fresh fade you have, by the way.
Yeah,
compliment that.
He was cutting my hair while I was telling him about it, but I was we were talking about this, and he's like, "Well, it's only going to be for 20 years. It's temporary." And I said, "Well, what happens in 20 years whenever they say this is done, and every single county commissioner,
everybody that goes to jail says, I need it for public safety for this other thing."
Yep. And so then you have a state legislator that says, we need to extend this for longer. Because, I mean, that's what happens. And if you don't think that happens, then you're blind and foolish.
They never go away. They never go away.
The government doesn't just take your money and then decide that it's going to stop taking your money at some point. That's not how it works.
We've seen property taxes get capped, and then at that point they've started to shift to income taxes.
Yeah. So and then also,
but I fully support a jail project. I know that they have to do something. I don't want to see them overbuild it and end up with 100 extra beds, but they really do need to deal with it. There's no doubt about that.
There's just we're at the very, very beginning stages right now. We're at step number 2 of the 9-step process that was laid out at the meeting. So this is still years down the road where we would have a new jail, and it's
or an island.
Did you mention that that the lady brought up that we could add on to the existing local income tax?
Yeah, that's the 0.2%.
No, we can add on up to 1.2% onto the existing local income tax.
And that would be what, I guess if they won that option, that's where all of the communities would have to vote on it. Newcastle.
Correct. Yeah.
Kennard.
So we would have
Knightstown.
to, there would be potentially, and I did learn this today too, the county could also issue a sales tax, but that would have to also go through referendum, and that is based on a percentage of a cent on purchased goods. So that was something interesting. So we would have to vote on property taxes. We would have to vote on the sales tax, and we would also have to vote on the addition to the local income tax.
The income tax, the council could just do that.
If it was
The 0.2.
if we were at the 0.2, but if it was the addition to the current one, the additional 1.25%,
I think
then we would have to vote on that.
I think they have to go referendum and let people decide if they really want to fix it or not, or see how far down they can keep the cost. If they have the incentive to keep the cost under 15 million, then they don't have to go to the referendum. They just have
I think so
500
too.
People.
And there has only been one jail. There's only been one jail facility that has passed through a referendum in the state of Indiana.
Hancock County tried to build one last month, or in May. Their referendum failed. They wanted a $50 million project, and it failed. All right, so we've got a couple other topics that we advertised. You've got a German Shepherd that wants in here.
We have a
Bad,
German
Dakota.
Shepherd and an
Both
Australian
dogs.
Shepherd. They're
Man.
pushing.
Got a whole team.
Uh-huh.
Will we bring them to the new studio, or are we going to leave them behind?
I think so. Daisy has to come to be the guard dog.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it's the
I want to talk about Curtis Hill grabbing ladies' butts. That's
attorney,
my-
too.
Attorney General Curtis
Yeah.
Hill.
That's right.
So-
elected official in the state of Indiana.
Back at the end of March, it was the Sine Dine, which is the end of the General Assembly. They just wrapped up, and there was some sort of an after party. And the reports in the Indianapolis Star and a number of other places said that Attorney General Hill had 3 staffers and State Representative Mara Reardon accused him of groping them at a party.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of handled internally. Somebody leaked a document a few days ago, and now it's a thing.
Well, I think it was Miss Reardon who said that she had the most damning of all of the accusations, because she said that she's standing at the bar and Attorney General Curtis Hill comes up to her and they're talking, and then he puts his hand on her back. She says, "Hey, take your hand off my back," and nothing else is done. He's like, "Oh, okay, whatever." And then eventually he puts his hand up her shirt and places it on her back, and she tries to step away. And as she's trying to step away, he just put his hand down her pants and grabbed her butt. And then she slapped his hand away, and she started walking away. And he comes up to her later on in the party, and then grabs her butt a second time.
The memo that was the media got a hold of says that 5 female legislative employees said that he was very intoxicated, multiple instances of inappropriate contact, including rubbing one employee's back, hugging one employee to him, and telling a group to show a little skin.
Yeah, I don't know if did any of you guys read the letter that came out in the Courier Times from one of the accusers?
I didn't see that one.
Wow, yeah, it was very uncomfortable to even read it. Because this one came from one of the staffers. This didn't come from Miss Reardon, and just the way that she was talking about it, you could absolutely tell that this isn't a witch hunt. They're not trying to go after him for political reasons. She's a employee of the Republican legislature, okay? And she even said, we went to the legislative investigating team because we didn't want this to get out. We just wanted him to know that what you've been doing is not okay, and we want you to fix it. And then the memo got leaked, and everybody that had come forward with the accusations were upset that the memo got leaked because they didn't want to be put into the spotlight. Mm-hmm. But now they're in this position. So I think that, so a lot of on WIBC, I know Rob Kendall's been talking a lot about how they do think that it's a witch hunt. They've been calling Eric Holcomb, Eric Matlock Holcomb.
So Governor Holcomb called for his resignation. The Speaker of the House has called for his resignation.
Right.
He does not have many friends left in the State House. at
no,
all.
and the thing about
And
that
was
is
this after an internal review?
right.
They
So
waited
this is
to say anything.
Well,
and then-
the review is still going on.
well, yeah.
So there's a special counsel that works for the governor that's looking into it now as well. And it sounds like
Yeah.
the prosecutor in Marion County was looking at it because
Wow.
there's possibilities that
Correct.
maybe something's going on.
Dakota.
yeah, the investigator general is looking into it.
But they're
currently.
basically saying the opposition now is saying that he's the victim, that it's some kind of internal. They're trying to get
Well,
rid of him.
I don't think. Well,
Or
yeah,
they're making it
correct. Yeah, they're saying that this has
four-
turned into a
what was
witch
it?
hunt.
Is it 4 separate women now?
Yeah, 4 separate women. That memo said 5, but all the reports I've seen have said 4.
There's an opinion piece in the Indy Star today that says there's a middle ground. Either
Yeah.
you're meshing two distinct
No.
versions of what happened at AJ's Lounge into a third harmless reality is not possible. And basically, he's not going to survive it, is what the Indy Star's opinion was, which means we're either going to be having him resign or there's going to be an impeachment process, and it's going to get really messy, and they are going to remove him. Because
So-
he's already lost the House and he's lost the governor's office. He has no support, and they have the ability to just remove him for misconduct.
Dakota,
One
are
thing,
Are you calling for his resignation?
absolutely, I am. He's disgusting. I watched his press conference,
Yeah.
and it was. I don't know if
It was
you guys.
terrible.
Yeah, if you guys watched that today, it was seriously all of it. I decided I would watch it because
It
my
was-
mind wasn't made up yet.
He
at
was
that point.
indignant and mad and playing the victim card.
Exactly. It was horrible. I felt uncomfortable and not at ease at all whenever I was watching that video.
And with that
Yeah.
speech, what's he going to change?
Yeah.
Pulling that card is absurd.
It's absolutely
Well,
absurd.
and the thing is, despite everyone around him that's calling for his resignation, he's going to fight this. And
Yeah.
I think if they're going to do that, then, like you said, it's going to get messy. And it probably needs to be. They need to make an example of him. And
yeah,
that's the
because
way-
this year the legislature, after
After Me
everything
Too.
that's happened in Hollywood, with the Me Too movement, the legislature passed a zero tolerance policy for anybody that is involved in state government.
Yep.
Okay, so now all of a sudden we have something that happens, and it definitely happened.
It definitely happened because 5 people in the same place all have the same story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now he wants to say that he's innocent and he shouldn't have to resign. No, save me those tears. That's ridiculous. And the other thing I wanted to point out about Holcomb was he was in, I think it was Missouri. He was on a trip to Missouri whenever he found out about it.
The governor.
Yeah, and whenever he found out about it, he made no media comment. He decided to come back and wait for to hear a report from the internal investigators, and then he called for his resignation.
Yeah.
So he heard stories, he knew what was going on, he knew both sides, and then he still called for the resignation of the most powerful law enforcement official in the state of Indiana that is a member of his party to resign. That is damning to me.
Yeah.
That I don't think that happens.
Yeah, there's no survival.
Yeah.
I really don't think there is. Now it's just a matter of how long. I'll tell you what, the Republican statewide office holders are in trouble. They've got a Secretary of State nominee that probably can't serve 4 years because of the Charlie White scandal, and constitutionally, this lady can't go another 4 years because the Constitution says she can't. And you got an Attorney General who is in deep trouble too. So,
Yep.
that's what happens when you have one party rule. They get a little bit too much power, and things don't go well. All right, pivoting. NATO Summit. Apparently, you want us to talk about Trump. You want clickbait over here? What's your
Trump
deal?
train.
I just kind of wanted to talk about this because I thought it was really interesting. It was something that Trump campaigned on pretty hard in the campaign trail. It was one of the things that I enjoyed listening to him talk about on his campaign trail, which there wasn't a whole lot that I enjoyed listening to him talk about, but this was one of them. And he
America first.
finally went to the Brussels NATO Summit, and he said some things that I wouldn't consider presidential, but he said some things that definitely needed to be said. I don't know if that's the best way to put it or not. I'm saying that if I was there, I might have I might have said it the same way, but I'm also not the leader of the free world. You know,
Luke Jackson's in the chat, and he says you need to text him when you're going live. Apparently, he wants personal treatment. He's an hour late because
come on,
he didn't
man.
text him.
If you follow this page, then you get the notification.
Yeah, like and subscribe, man. Like and subscribe and
All right.
share.
But anyway,
Support us on Patreon.
Yeah,
he did talk about
Luke. If you go Patreon $20 a month, I will personally text you before everyone.
Hey,
you give me your number. You go $20 a
yeah.
month. I will text you.
That
before.
sounds like a good deal.
all 5 of us.
I do that for Kate. I do that for Kate for trash day.
And when you forget, I get you.
He got me the other day.
Yeah.
Nice. Some real camaraderie.
Totally off topic. But Wednesday's my trash day. Big B here in Newcastle picked up my trash on Wednesday, 4th of July. Trash ran.
Nice.
Unbelievable.
Nice.
Nice.
Private enterprise, man.
City of Newcastle didn't do that for me.
They knew it was your week, man.
I know. I put it out Tuesday, thinking maybe it'll come early, and then I'm like, well, I'll leave it out Wednesday, and I'll just look like the guy that left his trash out for 3 days. And it really got picked up Wednesday. I was like, amazing, incredible. Anyway, all right. So
All right.
NATO.
Yeah, we're talking about NATO. He said he called out Germany for not holding up their end of the bargain whenever it came to taking foreign aid. And then he also ended up calling out, I think it was 2 years ago, NATO had made an increase in defense spending for all of the allied countries. And basically that change was all of the allied countries had to increase their defense spending to 2% of their gross domestic product. And the United States is now at 3.6% this year. However,
Now, does that mean you have to spend it on common defense? You may not know this answer. Is it common defense or just directly towards NATO?
no, you have to common defense.
Okay,
not
so
just
any
directly towards
military
NATO. Yeah,
spend.
any military in your own nation. That's all they're asking. And then only 9 of the 27 allies have met that requirement in 2 years. So he called that out. He's like, "Listen, we're holding up our part of the bargain, and only 9 other people are joining us. Pick up the slack." And then he also pointed out that the U.S. pays 22% of the entire NATO budget. 22% of the entire NATO budget. And 13 allies that are part of NATO pay less than 1%
Was there
of
a
the total
misquote
budget.
somewhere in there? Somebody said 90%.
He sent out a tweet that said 90%.
Okay.
And it was kind of misquoted.
He accidentally kafefied it.
Well, no, he didn't make the mistake. The quote that was in direct relation with that headline that you
the
see in a meme
context was different.
Yeah, the context was totally different. He wasn't talking about total budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw that being talked about today, and I didn't get to the bottom of that.
Yeah, so that was taken. It's a fake news meme.
Yeah.
So Trump also went after Germany, who does pay the second highest. He was he was really taking Merkel to task over their agreement to buy natural gas from Russia. They're now Russia's number 1 customer of natural gas exports, and they're saying, "Hey, you guys are really setting yourselves up for failure because they can screw you over." That was what happened to Ukraine and how they lost the whatever peninsula was a couple years
that's
ago.
also being kind of taken out of context. And I know that I'm sounding like a hardcore Trump. No,
Where's your red hat, man?
Trump doesn't do anything wrong. He's my president.
Are you Kanye?
But he did. I think that was kind of taken out of context by the media too, because the only thing that they're playing is that now Germany is totally controlled by Russia. That's the only thing that they're playing in that whole thing, and it's not. I mean, I get it. It's like what I said earlier. It's not. It's probably how I would have said it if I was there, but I'm not the leader of the free world.
That's how the Ukrainians lost Crimea, because they were afraid, is they can screw up your oil supply, and all of a sudden you don't have any means of production, because you need energy to exist.
What would the media do
Risky.
if they didn't have clickbait statements
What would
out
we
of
do?
context?
We're media now.
Jeez.
We're major media.
Yeah.
We're just trying not to be fake news.
Yeah. We just
All
try
right.
and tell it like it is.
So
Germany sucks.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Final.
God.
Hitler, you know?
Final. Yeah. Well. You're gonna hold that against them after all these years, even after they gave you Volkswagen and BMW.
Just saying.
We can't let Danny sit in that chair anymore. He is like abusive to his microphone, and we don't have any stop limiter on it.
Yes.
You want to switch me, man?
No.
Just mute it, dude. Mute it. Mute that mic.
Danny, you raise your
We
hand
don't care
when you
about
need
it.
to talk next time. We're gonna turn you down until it's time.
All right.
Danny,
so the
are
last.
you pro Hitler?
All right. Anyway,
The last thing that I wanted to say about NATO was during the 2016 campaign, it was a talking point for libertarians across the nation. And would a libertarian president keep us in NATO? What do you think about that, Jer?
you need to talk to your friends and your enemies, right? You need to be talking to everybody. But if I had my druthers and it was Jeremiah's world and I was doing this all by myself, we would be an independent nation and we wouldn't be tied in with all these mutual aid agreements. We would be doing foreign aid. That's not where we're at. I'm a pragmatist, but I would have all of our troops home. I would have a really kick-ass military that's stationed in South Carolina, in Indiana, in New York, in California, in Hawaii, Alaska, and we would have incredible defense at home, but we wouldn't be in South Korea. We wouldn't be in Japan. We wouldn't be in Saudi Arabia or another 150
A National
around the
Guard
world.
base in every county.
I'm not calling for that necessarily either.
Well, you wouldn't
we
need
need to
it.
have that now.
You wouldn't need it because you blow everyone up.
Yeah.
No, you need to be talking to everybody. You need to be willing to go anywhere in the world. Our Marine Corps can be anywhere in the world in 72 hours. We have an army at sea called the Navy that can do work anywhere, that can fly planes, that can mobilize. We've got the ability to do things. I would, if I had my druthers, and it's not. This isn't a practical thing this year or next year or 4 years from now, but I would draw back from all of the foreign locations we're in and just have our Navy and have really strong military at home.
I think that my biggest conundrum with all this is that I don't have as big of a problem with NATO as what I do with the United Nations. However, it does seem that for both of those different organizations, for lack of a better term, are feeding off of the majority of our money. We are paying more for both the United Nations and NATO than any of the other countries that are supposedly our allies and equals than anything. So it's just that seems asinine to me, to put it bluntly. If we have
Well, you're the
if we have 13 allies that pay less than 1% of NATO's budget and we are paying 22.1%, yeah, something's got to change. And if it takes being blunt and mean, then that's fine because it has to change. There's no reason for that. That's what I have to say about
There
it.
you go. All right.
And of course, a National Guard base in every county in the United States.
We're at that point in the show, Kade. Final thoughts. You sat in that chair. You get final thoughts first.
Final thoughts.
What are we pimping, man? Anything?
Well, the produce stand's open.
Yes.
We're under our green beans. We were going to start picking our sweet corn tomorrow.
And that's when we'll have the good for sweet corn.
The good sweet
Not
corn.
the imported crap that we can't even feed to the
Not the
animals.
stuff from Jackson County. It'll be our stuff. But yeah, we'll have our sweet corn.
I watched your Snap story. You had a little incident today.
Yeah, we've not had rain in a little while, so I had to set up the water cannon. It's like a gigantic sprinkler.
Yeah.
And it runs off a tractor and PTO. And so we use that when we don't have any rain so we can keep everything
Did you accidentally walk in front
watered. No. When we run it in the corn, we have to put like a 4-foot extension so that it gets it above the corn. So as it travels through the field, it's not slamming all the corn that's around it. Well, it makes it really top heavy. And I just forgot to get the cinder block. And when I had to go get a cinder block to counterbalance it.
First day farming?
Yeah, first day farming. And so when I went to go get the cinder block, I came back and it was tipped over, and I had to stand it up, and I got covered in the process.
Oh, God.
We had this last week and a half, and I've had tons of people in the pool. This isn't a farming story, but I had to add like 3 inches of water in my pool this week.
Yeah.
It's crazy
Wow.
how dry it's gotten all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I know one of my redbud trees in my yard is dying, so I feel your pain.
Yeah, we're all struggling.
If you
with
need
that.
to borrow my water cannon, you can come get
My
it.
neighbors would love that. Let me tell you.
We could water everybody's stuff within 100 yards of here.
That's right.
100-yard
Yeah, there we
radius.
go.
You could.
We'll turn Danny back up. He has a
Hey
thought.
guys, I'm over here.
Raise your hand, Danny.
What were you saying? You can't just stop
Oftentimes.
now.
You could water my grass and my flowers from your house.
Probably.
with
Yeah.
the water cannon.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the storm that came in when they were building the tent on Wednesday of last week.
That was righteous.
Oh, it's Thursday.
That wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, we had an incredible storm on Thursday last week.
I remember that. That
Biblical.
was insane. You guys have had a pretty good growing season, though.
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
I mean,
better
for the
than
middle of
2015.
July,
Yeah.
you know.
And you got the $80 beef sale going on over there.
Yep. We got
You
the
get,
beef sale going on.
You got the quarter pounders.
Yep, we still
regular
got the
ground
beef boxes. We just restocked on everything. So if you're looking to buy steaks or hamburger or anything that you buy from us down there, we're restocked now.
The Corey
And
beef box is where it's at.
And we are selling
killed a fresh batch.
we're selling year round for the beef, so not just in season with the produce. So if you go down there and you get it and you like it, we're going to be selling it year round.
Have you started the carnivore diet yet?
I'm like on a paleo carnivore diet.
Did you listen to Jordan Peterson's episode on Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
That was insane, wasn't
It's
it?
cured a lot of stuff for them.
Yeah, I
So-
can't believe it.
Yeah. I think a lot of people will start trying that out and seeing results.
Yeah, I think so too.
Best man Dan. But this is the first time you've been a best man. You've been in like 14 weddings. First time you've been a best man.
I've been in quite a few.
You're like
this
the
was-
third dude in all of them.
I was second once. It was a close second. No, it was a really honorable situation for me. I don't know the right words for it, but to be able to be a part of it for your brother and to be able to see a relationship blossom and to experience it was really awesome. And I'm thrilled that I got to do that for the first time with my brother.
This is the only time for me.
Hey, and I don't
The
know
only
that
time this year.
Oh, yeah, for
I don't
sure.
know that you'll get a second crack at it. We'll see.
Yeah.
But no, it was an awesome
Will I be in the
experience.
second wedding?
My
Can I move up to second place
Sean
this time?
Rao just texted me and said, "Don't answer that question, Jer."
If so, I want to
don't
move
thi-
up to second place this time.
You wanna
I
skip
didn't-
Nick?
I didn't like leading the people down the aisle.
I see no reason why Jeremiah will ever have a second wedding.
No, I don't see so
Jeremiah
either.
and Sarah are
Unless it's because the first one was so awesome, they just have to do it again.
just renew the value.
we go.
vows and
Renew the contract.
25 years.
Yeah.
But
Every
it-
year, renewing.
Okay, you got to pick a new.
Does that mean we get to go to Nashville again?
Yeah, dude.
Sweet.
I think we'll.
I'm tired of getting hit on by Chase.
I think
I
we'll-
want to make it a yearly trip.
Yeah,
I really do.
Can't help it,
The
man.
go-karts?
No, going to Nashville.
the bachelor
Oh, yeah.
party.
Well, we
I
should do a weekly trip with go-karts.
Yes.
Yes, because I'm buying a car.
I mean,
Because I'm buying a car.
Chase's bachelor party can't be that far away.
No, it can't
Like
be.
3 or 4 years, 5.
No. I give him within the next year. And he's engaged.
Until the bachelor party?
No, just until you're
I hope
engaged.
not.
Within a year, you and Katie are
We
going to
went
be
from
engaged.
engaged to
20
the.
years from now?
We went from engaged to the altar December to July.
I gave Audrey like
Do
freaking 14 months.
we want to bet on this?
Well,
No, you hold the card, so I wouldn't
got-
bet on that.
I
That's a
got
terrible
seven.
Yeah,
bet.
that's a terrible bet.
But final thoughts.
yeah.
Yeah,
You got
no,
anything else?
it was a great time. I loved it. I love you guys. Thank you for letting me be a part of it. Everyone in this room had a wonderful time, and congratulations. And let's see what happens.
Fingers crossed.
No, not fingers crossed. You'll be all right.
Chase.
Just call me when you need me.
Yeah, I got a couple questions. How many days until you go to a different country?
Well, I have a very, very large dog and a house sitter, so we'll answer this question.
Okay.
I will. I'm going to turn Danny's mic down again because he's plopping the mic on his head because he doesn't know what he's doing. He's the world's worst co-host over there. Inside baseball, there are 4 microphones that go through a limiter, and then the 5th seat over there doesn't, so it picks up absolutely everything. And
Yep,
we
that's
should
why
probably
that
we should
audio
probably
has been
never
bad.
let Danny do that again.
No, always Chase.
Chase
Chase knows
Chase
what
is
he's
very
doing.
responsible. He rubs it on his beard a little bit from time to time. But yeah, see, right now Chase does that and it doesn't matter. Dakota, you can hear it for Dakota's. Dakota's got that big coarse beard. Anyway,
This is more powerful than mine.
anyway,
No, it doesn't.
yeah, we can't hear you. Chase, you asked when do I leave the country?
Yes.
I leave the state Saturday,
Oh.
and Sunday afternoon we will sail away. If anybody wants to track
Why would
me,
you waste your final thoughts on that,
Oh,
Chase?
I'm not done yet.
if anybody wants to track me, we'll be on
What
the.
are you most excited for?
What am I most excited for? That is a good question. Unlimited chicken wings.
I'm getting to that.
Unlimited
I'm
chicken
getting to
wings.
So, what's it like to not be a virgin anymore?
I don't know. Why don't you tell me?
I haven't experienced it yet, man. I'm not married.
The DJ wasn't good enough.
Yeah. Yeah, you tried.
I tried, man.
You couldn't get the music.
So that's all I got.
Yeah.
Oh, Sarah just said she heard that, Danny.
We all had a very, very, very good time Saturday night into Sunday. Anything else?
I think that's it.
All right.
I hope you have a great time on your honeymoon.
Things look promising.
I hope you make a little Jeremiah while you're on the honeymoon.
Just make good choices. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Says the father of two. Oh, we'll see. No, Danny, you're out. You're done.
You're done.
Your mic's off.
Your final thoughts passed.
What's your favorite position?
I'm pro-life.
I'm pro-life.
Pro-life, low taxes.
That's a pretty good position.
Personal responsibility, economic
Yeah,
freedom.
I like that position.
Yeah.
Pro-life. All right. I guess my final thoughts are Mr. Kenan Gray. Ooh, I almost said Kenan Gay.
I think you did.
I did. I
Oh,
did say that. I
snap.
accidentally said it.
This is going to be a clean campaign. I don't know why you have to pick on on the fellow that's applying for the same job as me, making disparaging comments.
Well, I'd apologize, Kenan, but you're not a libertarian. You're a Republican.
He's going to slap you on the back really hard next time he sees you.
Yeah, that's all right. Kenan reminded us that Talks Away Day for the city of Newcastle and Henry County is on August 18th. So I want to make that part of my final thoughts because I've utilized them in the past, so that's a good thing. Another part of my final thoughts is, of course, that I hope that everybody enjoys the things that we produce. To give everyone a little bit of a sneak peek into the Patreon account, we are having locker room talk. We are going to be live streaming tinfoil time next week. So what is usually only reserved for the people on Patreon at $5 a month or more, everyone is going to be able to get to see the live stream of my wife Audrey and I. And we are going to be doing that next week. So set your calendars for next Thursday at 7:00, just like the podcast usually is. So
no, I think I'm flying back home. We've got Mark Brim coming on next Thursday.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah,
I thought that was going to be set up for earlier earlier day.
Oh shoot! What day do I need to come back?
You need to come back Wednesday, man.
Oh, Wednesday. All right, I'll
Come
change
on,
my
dude.
flight. That's the
Yeah,
day I'm in
get it
Cosmo.
going.
No
Get it
problem.
going.
I'll just come back Wednesday.
All right.
No problem. We just make a change here.
All right.
All right.
So I think
Set.
that's all I have. Of course, just
All right.
give me your money as usual.
All right. So yeah, this has been fun. Been a busy week. I literally had the most fun weekend of my life. It was phenomenal. You guys were all a very big part of it, from the bachelor party to the work, the sweat equity you put in. Chase being like the fourth groomsman that didn't have to rent a suit, hanging out
It
with
was
us.
the best time I've ever had
You are a liar.
at a wedding because I didn't have to do anything. I just drank.
Nice.
It was free.
It was good.
I'll keep that in mind, Chase.
Hey, you didn't have free beer.
We did get rid of that blow
Well,
lunch
you
pretty
did.
fast. Yeah.
Oh
Well,
man.
I was so drunk, I couldn't remember.
Luke Jackson's asking for the Patreon
I had to do
link.
stuff at your wedding, so it was the best wedding I've ever been to. That I didn't have to do
He
anything.
didn't have any work. Yeah. Well, it was incredible. Next week, you'll have the special tinfoil time. I'm going to fly back from Cozumel, and we'll have an episode with Mark Brim that's plausibly live. And the week after that, we're going to have the ultimate donut maker. Lee Markham's going to be on the show. We got
I hope he
right.
brings donuts.
we've got Chase.
He's got to bring donuts.
Chase, Dakota,
If you're
and
listening, I like the caramel with nuts and the peanut butter and chocolate one.
I like just straight vanilla icing.
like Long's donuts.
I. All right.
I like cake donuts from L&K Produce,
I do. I love the blueberry.
even though I don't eat them anymore.
The blueberry cake donuts you guys
Yeah.
have.
That's
dude,
He
it.
had snickerdoodle ones the other day, and everybody really liked those.
All right. So that Patreon, though, it doesn't just pay for the studio. It pays for our expenses for all of the stuff we do around here. Dakota and I have determined that we need to be able to get through one of these public meetings without having the camera die. So we need another $70 battery pack that we think is going to solve the problem.
Yeah, and if it doesn't, then the next fix
Is
is
a
a
$250 solution.
$250 solution. So
Yeah, this thing really, it's paying for itself, But truly, your dollars that you kick in go back into equipment and help us do a better and better job. If you watch the hour of the first live stream that we did on Tuesday from the courthouse, that was phenomenal. And with more time and effort and continuing to learn what we're doing and perfecting the equipment, we're going to do more and more of that. And the rest of the guys in this room are going to be trained, and we're going to get it right. Really, really excited to have the full team of people together. I don't think we've actually had the 5 of us together, all the co-hosts at the same time. So this is pretty cool. Thank you all for dragging yourself in. You didn't play basketball tonight or claim to be out baling straw or anything else. So
I missed jujitsu for this.
there you go. You're down to like 210 pounds, Cade.
No.
I could have taken a nap.
Yeah.
Cade, you look better in a short sleeve button down with a tank top underneath than I do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Thanks for noticing.
Oh man.
Oh,
I
hamburger.
think that Cade and I are pretty close on the fur.
Yeah.
I'm sure Dakota has to do number 1 again. So we're going to sign off.
I do have to pee again.
We will see you all next week. This has been fun.
It has.
Thank you for listening to the Boss Hog of Liberty, which is part of the We Are Libertarians Network. I am Chris Spangle, and I am the founder of this network, and I invite you to listen to all of our shows, which you can find at wearelibertarians.com or by searching for these in your podcatcher. The flagship show is the We Are Libertarians podcast, where we apply libertarian principles to current events. The Brian Nichols Show is a conversation amongst Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Independents, as they talk about what is happening in the news. And we have many other podcasts like The Chris Spangle Show, Upward, The Cost, Raw Audio Politics, Miranda's World, and Tad Talk, which is quite a ride. So check all of these out. Go to wearelibertarians.com and you can check out all of our great podcasts. Thanks for listening. Thank you for listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Get our other shows at wearelibertarians.com.